On this day, in history, we don't start with a battlefield. We start in the dark, because on this night, power changed hands before sunrise. A king went to sleep, believing the crown was still his, and by morning, the crown belonged to someone else. This is, on this day, a coup replaced a king before sunrise. Now, imagine the city, not loud, not celebrating, not panicking yet, just streets under moonlight, shutters closed, guards walking their routes, thinking it's another ordinary night. But inside palaces, inside barracks, inside private rooms lit by a single candle, people are whispering. Plans are being repeated again and again, because in a coup, timing is everything. A coup doesn't need the whole country. A coup needs the right rooms at the right hour. First, it needs silence. The kind of silence that lets boots move without drawing attention. The kind of silence that hides orders behind closed doors. Then, it needs speed, because once the first door is forced, the clock starts ticking, and whoever controls the first minutes usually controls the dawn. So the conspirators begin, not with crowds, but with the basics. They go for the telephone lines, if they exist. The messengers, if they don't. They go for the radio, if there is one. They go for the bridges, the gates, the roads, the places that decide who can move and who cannot. Because a king is not only a man. A king is communication. Cut the communication, and the king becomes a man in a room with no answers. Now, picture the palace, guards at the entrance, torches, ritual, tradition, the feeling that this place has always been safe. But tradition is not armor, and that night, loyalty is tested. Some guards follow orders because that's what they've always done. Some hesitate because something feels wrong, and some quietly step aside because they've already chosen the future. Inside, the king sleeps, or tries to. Maybe he sensed it, that strange weight in the air. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he trusted the walls too much. And while he sleeps, the coup moves. A door opens, not loudly, but decisively. Footsteps, a cold command, a short argument, cut off quickly. Then, the most dangerous part, the moment when the plotters must do what they came to do, because it's easy to talk about overthrowing a king when it's still a conversation. It's different when you're standing outside the royal chambers, and one decision changes everything. In some coups, the king is arrested. In others, forced to sign. In others, exiled, before he can speak to anyone who would defend him. But the goal is always the same: to make the sunrise, arrive with a new reality. And here's the brutal truth. In the hours before dawn, most of the city still doesn't know. Markets aren't open yet. Churches aren't full yet. Streets aren't crowded yet. That's why coups love night, because daylight brings witnesses. Night brings control, so by the time the first light appears, the signs are already there. A new guard at the gates, a new flag on a building, a new voice on the official announcement. And when people wake, they don't wake into debate. They wake into a fact. Your king is gone. Now, you might wonder, how can a king be replaced so fast? How can an entire kingdom change direction in a handful of hours? The answer is simple and terrifying. Power is rarely held by one person alone. Power is held by networks, by commanders, by ministers, by loyal units, by the people who control money, weapons, and messages. A king can wear the crown for decades. But if the network shifts, the crown becomes a decoration, and in the morning, the new rulers understand something important. Winning the night is not enough. They must win the story, because after the coup, the real battle begins, not with bullets, but with belief. They announce stability. They promise reform. They accuse the old court of corruption, or weakness, or betrayal. They claim the king was unfit, or absent, or dangerous. They don't just remove a person, they rewrite legitimacy. Meanwhile, the former king becomes a ghost, a symbol for resistance, or a warning, or a forgotten name, depending on who controls the narrative and who controls the streets. And this is why coups are so haunting, because they reveal something that many people don't want to admit. A nation can look solid in daylight and still be fragile at night. So on this day, remember the lesson. It wasn't the sunrise that changed the kingdom. It was everything that happened before it. A handful of footsteps, a few locked doors, a cut line of communication, a silent switch of guards. And by the time the city saw the morning, the king was already history. That's the power of a coup. Fast, quiet, and final, if no one is ready to stop.